Right. Oh, this is it now. That's enough.
What? All right, we've got a good one.
We have got a good one.
I'm very excited about this because I feel like there's going to be a lot of strong opinions.
Yeah.
But we will get right into it because, as I said in the last podcast, and for you it's been weeks and I will have eaten by that point, but I am famished. I'm so hungry, and this is basically the equivalent of grocery shopping while hungry.
Oh, yeah.
So immediately after this recording, Megan and I are going directly to a pub and getting a giant bowl of chips. So we are building our best food day, I would say. So, top tier breakfast.
Do you want to do you go first for all of yours, or we do each?
I think we do each meal. So like I'll do my breakfast, you do your breakfast, then we do lunch, then we do dinner.
Okay.
So we are building the best day that you could ever have in terms of food. What would be your best breakfast? What would be your best lunch? And what would be your best dinner?
Can I ask a couple of side questions?
Yeah, go for it.
Are we going to be full up to the point where we're not able to eat the next meal? Or is this...
There are no real life issues on this best food day. It's as if food is no object, money is no object. You don't get full. You are the perfect amount of hungry and full at the beginning and end of every meal.
And all the food is free.
All the food is free, and you're living your best life. You're eating it in the best environment that you could have that possible meal. So if it's fish and chips, you're on the seaside.
Okie dokie.
If it's a stew, it's snowing outside and you're in front of a fire.
Ooh, we've got
it's all
multiple weather options.
Yeah,
wow.
So it is your best food day.
Okay.
So we'll start with, also, do we want to include the ideal drink?
Turn like a robot.
Chucky. Do we want to include the ideal drink you would have with that meal?
Yes, because I am
I feel like
goblin.
A drink is a big part of a meal.
Yes. Sometimes I'll have like 3 drinks.
Oh yeah.
One meal. So
Meg's like that.
Thank goodness that's a...
My dad's one of those people who will eat an entire meal and not touch his drink.
Mum won't have a drink
and then he'll have a drink at the end. No. And I just don't get how you do that. Because my mouth I need the lubrication to make it a more efficient experience. Right, so we'll start with breakfast. And I have pulled up a couple Pinterest boards for breakfast ideas just to kind of get our mind
Hit me with your top breakfast choice then.
You've
woken up. What day is it?
I've woken up. It's a Friday. I don't work on the Friday because I happen to have a 4-day weekend. So this is I'm looking forward to a long weekend.
Okay.
I would say, and I think I mentioned it previously, Eggs Royale. Eggs Royale, a piece of sourdough toast. The only thing I would say is maybe add guac to it.
Oh.
So
you can do whatever you want, David.
It's my best, yeah. So I would say Eggs Royale, but instead of cream cheese.
Mexican eggs.
Yeah.
What's your Mexican?
They can't see them. Mauricio.
Sorry, Mauricio. I just shouted out Mexican eggs.
No, that's what we're going to call him now. Mauricio's now.
Mauricio eggs.
Yeah, that's Mexican eggs. What's your friend's name again? Mexican eggs. Yeah, but they can't see that. So Jodi's just pointed at the screen, but all you've heard is Mexican eggs.
That was literally like being anywhere with a child and you're having a conversation. They just go, something unrelated.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right. Sorry about that, Mauricio, but your new name now is Mexican Eggs.
Mr. Mexican Eggs.
That does look really good, though. So instead of the cream cheese, I would say guacamole or mashed avocado, Eggs Royale. That would be...
Are you spicing it up?
I would spice it up. A couple thinly sliced chilies, but because I've gone for a dish that is very delicate in flavor, I wouldn't do my typical like garbage bowl, loads of stuff on top. I'd probably say I would do sort of like what you see here, where it's not like a nice and pretty one egg on top of a small piece. I'd have like a giant slice of sourdough with like 4 poached eggs on top, loads of smoked salmon, loads of smashed avocado. Oh, black pepper, cracked black pepper, and I just poured it a really hot cup of coffee.
Just coffee?
Just coffee. That would be the only drink that I'd want with that would be coffee. Cup. Oh no! And a glass of spicy water. Some soda water. Yeah. I'd have to have
Yeah,
that
you
to finish
gotta
it.
wash them eggs down with some fizz.
Yeah, with some fizz. Some fizzy eggs. That's how I like my eggs.
Fizzy Mexican eggs.
Fizzy Mexican eggs. Right, so yeah, that would be my best breakfast. And I'd be...
Are you cooking this yourself, or is someone else cooking it for you?
Either one, to be honest. That wouldn't affect my level of enjoyment. I wouldn't mind. I would say if it's a perfect world, we've gone out somewhere. And
no washing up.
yeah,
And the food's free.
No washing up. The food is free. And I've basically gone, I know this is egg royale, but instead of cream cheese, can I have mashed avocado? And they would say, we've just changed the menu item to that, so it's not a problem.
They would curtsy.
And then they would curtsy and say, you clearly have taste. We're not going to charge you for this meal. They would curtsy. They would bow and say, thank you, sire. Yeah, so we've gone out somewhere. We're on vacation somewhere. It's beautiful. It's sunny outside. We eat outside. Yes! Al fresco.
Al fresco.
Al
I'm going to say
fresco.
something that will mean nothing to you, but it'll mean something to my brother who will listen to this. We're the al fresco kids.
All right, and for Jodi's brother listening, the alfresco kids. What you're gonna have to elaborate.
We're the alfresco kids. So our stepmom would say, and it even makes me cringe a little bit because she'd say it like, "We're the alfresco kids." Like, oh, gross. Yeah. But any hoops.
So Jodi,
Jodi's
your
breakfast of
best
choice.
breakfast. I keep thinking of Evan Almighty when he says, or is it Bruce Almighty, where he keeps trying to say that was the best breakfast. And Jennifer Aniston's boobs have just gotten bigger after he's been given God status. And she was like,
Almighty,
yeah. And he was like, this was the best breakfast. This was the best breakfast. I love you. But because he just keeps saying boobs the whole time. Anyway, sorry, that was a tangent.
I feel like mine's quite a lazy one, but the 50s American diner near where we live does the best breakfast burrito that I could ever make. So I would go there,
really?
I would have that, and that would be it, with a latte, a glass of water, and some fresh orange juice with bits.
With bits?
With pulp.
That is the most controversial part of that entire... You like chewy orange juice?
I love to chew my orange juice.
Why? I mean, I can drink orange juice with pulp, but it's a choice. Nobody goes, choice. I want pulp.
Yeah. I seek out.
You seek out the pulp.
I seek out the fibre.
You dirty pulper. She's a little pulp sniffer looking for the pulp.
So yeah, that's probably what I would have. Or that jammy egg, avocado and pesto toast that I can see a picture of, just because it looks so good.
Mexican eggs!
Mexican eggs!
Yeah, that actually does look really good.
I also like this, like 3 different avocado toast. It's like...
Yeah, it's very like a bruschetta on toast type thing.
But then I know that my gums would probably hurt after that.
Yeah, lots of sharp bits stabbing it. And your jaw would probably hurt from chewing that.
Yeah. But that breakfast burrito for sure is probably one of the best breakfast items I could think of.
Actually, fun fact, the 50s American Diner, I've just recently applied for a job there.
Have you?
Yeah.
Which one?
The nearest one here, 50s American Diner. It's called the 50s American Diner.
In Swaddling Coat?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the role?
It's either kitchen manager or head chef.
Oh, you taters.
But based on the
I feel like you would have to get it just because
I was going to say, I
literally walk in with your passport.
To my credit, I do meet all of the qualifications that they're looking for.
And that'd be great because I think they do like to have a bit of interaction with because you're cooking live in front of people. You've never been?
No, I've never been. I can imagine what it's like, but yeah.
We've got to go.
It's very much...
You will go if you get an interview. That's very exciting.
But yeah, so you could have an authentic American cooking at a 50s American diner.
Oh no.
And then I'll have to learn diner slang where it's like...
And you have to do authentic...
Wet the buoys, throw them on a raft and cover them in blood.
You probably wouldn't as the kitchen staff. You'd probably wear like chef whites or blacks, but...
Yeah.
The staff dress in like authentic 50s
do they?
Get up, yeah.
I just have a white t-shirt with like a pack of cigarettes rolled into the sleeve.
Like roll your hair a little bit.
I have a flat cap and a leather bomber jacket.
You have to buy some cigarettes just to fold into. Is that what you just said?
Yeah. I'll have like a white t-shirt with the cigarettes folded into the sleeve. I thought you were referencing me. Oh, you just came up and...
I just didn't listen to anything you said because I
laughed out and then came back into the conversation. Right, so I will do that. I will dress up and I will cook American food in a flat cap.
No pressure now as well. It's on record that you're going for this job.
They won't be listening to this. Can you imagine?
I'm not saying.
I can't even be like, well, we heard your podcast, and we don't take too kindly to you wearing flat caps behind the grill.
No, I mean more in the way of no pressure, but he needs to get the job now.
Yeah. Now I have to. I did apply for that several weeks ago, and I still haven't heard back, so probably not. But if I do get it, free American diner food, probably.
So, you've had your lovely breakfast. What have you done between breakfast and lunch? Have you been for a walk? Because British people love a walk after a meal.
I will have
Mowed the lawn.
probably done either yard work or if we're out somewhere, I've walked around a bookstore.
Have you
That's
bought a book?
what I've done.
Or you
Probably.
sniffed
If
the
it's a
book?
good like some dirty panty sniffer. Went in there and sniffed all those books.
I was in the non-fiction.
I'd go in the romance section and sniff the pages. Reminds me of my old marriage.
She's the one that reads the dirty books now.
Yeah. Probably walked around like an old bookstore.
Oh.
Or like an old store of some kind that sells things that I like.
I mean, most buildings in the UK are old in comparison
They are.
to America
I think
as a country.
all of the UK... The UK as a country is just old. I would say you've entered pensioner stage.
Yeah.
So after we've walked around, we then go to find some lunch. And I'm going to have to say I'm torn between lunch. I think I want tacos.
Lunch tacos.
Lunch tacos. I really want some street tacos. Just some... And even like I mean, not a lot of people in here will have had this. I bet Mauricio will have. Tripe, which is the stomach. Doesn't taste bad.
No.
Pretty good. And it's
like a
usually the
wartime
cheapest option.
food.
It's a wartime food.
Yeah.
No, tacos of any description, as long as they're street tacos where you get the 2 tortillas. So you finish the first one and all the bits that fall out fall into the second tortilla and then you get second taco.
But how are they falling out? How? Explain this to me, please.
Well, so like street tacos, you see street tacos, they come with 2... Why does it do that?
That's just outdoorsy.
Why is it not opening the photo? So you see how you get 2 tortillas?
Yeah.
And so you pick up the first tortilla that has all the bits in it. Underneath that is the second tortilla that lays flat.
Like a plate?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
right,
you
okay.
eat your first taco, and all of the extra bits from that taco fall out onto the second tortilla.
Right.
And then you get second taco, which is all your extra bits.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So yeah, probably street tacos. I probably go for probably have a lager.
Eh?
With it, a beer.
Oh.
Like a
lager.
A lager.
I thought you said like logger.
Lager. Yeah.
Like logs.
Why? I'd probably have a lumberjack.
Go full
as well.
beaver.
I would
have a log.
That's a euphemism for something. Yeah. She went full beaver, had a whole log. Yeah, I'd probably have a beer with it. A nice cold beer. It's sunny outside. I've got like 6 tacos, and I'm just gonna do dirty things to them.
Where?
Covered in chilies, sour cream, pico de gallo. Has to have pico de gallo.
That reminds me of Brooklyn Nine.
Beak of the chicken. But yeah. And then a big old bowl of chips and dip. Want some chips and dip. Some chips and salsa. Sorry, not just dip. It has to be salsa.
Spicy?
Yes, of course, always. But yeah, that would be mine.
That'd be your lunch. That's quite a light lunch, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice
6
day.
tacos.
6 tacos and a beer. It's a light lunch.
That is just a bowl of America.
Oh, it's so good. Fucking tacos I can have.
6 tacos and a beer.
6 tacos and a beer. God bless America. God bless the troops.
Where's my gun?
Where's my gun?
Jodi's lunch then.
Jodi's lunch.
What would Jodi's lunch be? I spend so long getting so interested in what you're saying. I don't think about what I'm going to do.
What?
Lunch, I would probably want some kind of like antipasti board. Like deli meats, some cheeses, bread with real butter.
A charcuterie board.
Yeah, a charcuterie board.
A charcuterie board.
But no fruit.
No fruit.
Do
you don't want figs?
No!
You don't! Figs and goat cheese with a little bit of honey is... Jodi has gone full, like, toddler. No! No!
Oh, I definitely have some of this. What's it called?
What the fuck does
What's it? Calabrese? No. What's it called?
Calabrese? Calabrese?
Mozzarella, basil, and tomato.
Yeah.
That salad.
That salad.
That's the salad I would have with it.
Yes. That salad. A little bit of balsamic.
Yeah. So meat, cheese, olives, more cheese,
crusty
tomato,
bread.
Yeah.
Preserved peppers, tomatoes. Like sun-dried tomatoes, sun-dried grilled peppers.
Maybe. I've already got the olives and the tomatoes on there. Let's not get too loopy.
What type of meats do you have?
Parma ham.
I'm really loving the look of this,
I do like
over-peppered.
That looks like you'd have to really bite it, and
Loads
I'd end
of
up
pepper.
biting a peppercorn, and it'd ruin that whole thing.
So good. Overly peppered sausage. What types of cheese? You got to name the cheeses.
So I'd have like a strong cheddar, maybe like a bomber.
Ooh, a what? A
Black bomber.
Black bomber.
Bomber.
Oh, bomber.
Not bummer.
I was like, I never got to that section on Pornhub. The black bomber.
Black bomber. We've got some at home. I'll bring some next week if Andy allows me to let it leave the house.
Oh, is it that good?
Yeah.
All right.
We bought another one.
I tried that. Sorry, this is a tangent. Your house was the first time that I had that cheese that makes your fingers tingly.
Yeah, I couldn't eat much of that.
It's
strong.
Strong. They make cheddar that's so strong. What does it have in it?
Histamines.
Histamines. And it makes your fingers and your lips go all tingly.
Made my entire mouth stop tingling.
Yeah, and it's almost crunchy. It's so strong, but it is kind of nice. I didn't hate it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, black bomber. It's a very, very strong cheese, but it's creamy.
Ooh.
Not like brie creamy, but it's not crumbly. I find like strong cheeses generally get more crumbly.
Yeah, they do.
The more mature and stronger it is.
You have like a Parmesan and it basically goes to powder.
Whereas this is like, it remains like a mild cheddar in texture.
Right, but it's a strong cheese.
Strong as shit, yeah.
Right.
So I'd have some of that. Definitely have a few slices of brie with the rind on.
Oh, yes. A woman of class.
Yep. I'm a fancy bitch. What else?
Wensleydale?
No.
Manchego?
No. I would have like a soft, like a goat's cheese.
Smoked cheese. Like a smoked
Gouda. I don't know if I like that.
Really? Smoked Gouda, I think, is one of the best cheeses you can ever have. Besides, and I know that people aren't going to agree with this, because it's basically the vanilla ice cream of cheese. Mozzarella.
There's nothing wrong with vanilla ice cream.
Mozzarella. I 100% agree. You can never be upset with vanilla ice cream. I know there's good flavors other than that, but you're never upset with vanilla ice cream.
Clotted cream vanilla ice cream is the bee's
yes.
knees. There's somewhere called Foxton Locks, which isn't far from here.
I've been there. I have.
Did you have an ice cream there?
I did not, but now I regret not doing it.
You will enjoy it if you go again.
I will be doing that next time.
We're going to take Terry soon, so we can maybe join forces.
Join forces in the name of ice cream.
Yeah.
So you've had your charcuterie board.
Yes, with that, I've probably had a pint of Pepsi Max with 1 or 2 ice cubes in, because I don't want it too cold, but I want the ice to get rid of some of the fizz.
Right. Oh, wow. I've never seen somebody treat Pepsi as you do an expensive scotch.
Yes.
A couple.
It's an experience.
Yeah, this is my sipping Pepsi.
But it has to be from a machine.
Oh, like my mom will have an opinion on this. She says that nothing beats, because if there was ever a person that could be picked as the sponsor spokesperson for Pepsi, it is my mom.
Oh.
My mom is a Pepsi bitch till the day she dies. That is the only drink. You will not catch that woman with a Coke. She says that you cannot beat a fountain drink Pepsi. There was a massive difference between what you get in the bottle and what you get from the little push thing.
And you could, when I worked in pubs, you can also control how much syrup you have, because a little bit more syrup comes out at the start.
The button. Yeah.
So the pub that I worked at, you could gently press the button and just syrup would come out. and one of the chefs would literally just come in and just do a shot of the syrup and just be ah.
Holy.
It was crazy.
Did you guys ever get the so you know, like you go to like a fast food place, obviously you don't have like Chick-fil-A, but places like that, or like ours was what's the Taco Bell? And you get your drinks and it's one of those where they let you fill it up yourself and you have all the options.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever have the machines where you could pick like it'd be like, okay, Coca-Cola, and then it would let you choose a load of different flavorings for your Coca-Cola.
Burger
like
King at Meridian does that now.
Does it? Oh, and it does it for all of them, like Dr. Pepper, and then you can have cherry, vanilla, cream, orange, all these different...
Pizza Hut at Meridian as well, they've got one.
Ooh, yes, those are very good. I feel like you can make... Or did you ever do... What do they call it? Do they call it a suicide, where you do all of them? All the drinks at once in one cup?
Terry did that at Costco.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he regret it?
You know, the £1.50 hot dog and drink?
Oh, yeah. Classic, yeah.
He's like, I'm going to have one of everything.
And
that's how he sounds, like Mickey Mouse. And he... So it was Fanta, Sprite...
So far, so good.
Pepsi.
No.
Cherry Pepsi. All in one drink. But all you could taste really was just Fanta.
Ew, yeah.
And it was brown. It wasn't Pepsi, like black.
I feel like it's a rite of passage to learn that as a child.
He drank it, though.
Props to him.
He enjoyed it.
I mean, it's one of those things that you do because it's mostly, I'm doing this because I can.
Because I can, yeah.
Not because I think it will taste good. And then you do it once or twice and you realize, this is not for me, but I've done it and I'm happy.
Got the medal for doing that.
Right.
And
so you
have water with it as well.
Water.
Nice
so water, a Pepsi with 2 ice cubes, and a anti-pasty board.
Yeah, and a coffee after.
A coffee after. You really are a drinks goblin.
I just love to be hydrated.
Right. So, what have you done in the interim between moving from... So, what do you do after your lunch? I went to a bookstore between breakfast and lunch.
So, between lunch and dinner, we'll probably go somewhere for a walk.
You guys do love a walk.
Yeah.
And you guys
get
walk...
coffee during that time or a cake or something.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Just get some air, get moving.
I would say similar, but we go for a walk along a canal or river, and we stop for a pint outside, a pub outside overlooking the water.
Okay.
Overlooking either like a canal or a river, and you sit outside and you have a pint overlooking the water. It's nice and sunny outside. People watch, bit of people watching.
There's somewhere on the A46, off the A46. I don't know if you'll have been, if you were going to Costco, that's like that.
Is it?
It's just a very small pub on the canal. They've got benches.
We need to go there, because I don't think there's many things that...
The Hope and Anchor.
The Hope and Anchor.
Yeah.
Shout out the Hope and Anchor. I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably a walk as well, but outside near some water. You stop for a nice drink.
Yeah, nice little Walkingtons.
And then we search for a place for dinner.
It's dinner time. What are you having?
It's dinner time. And I think...
This is where I'm going to struggle.
If it's going to be my best meal day ever, I want a Côte de Boeuf.
Buff!
Côte de
That's
Boeuf.
some kind of beef.
Steak.
Steak.
It's a steak. Côte de Boeuf. Now, Côte de Boeuf is the fancy French name for the steak. It's the exact same thing as a tomahawk steak.
Right.
Except it doesn't have the cow rib. The cow rib has been cut. Côte de Boeuf is very similar, I think, to something called I think it's also called a cowboy steak.
Right.
Where they just cut the rib off of a tomahawk. But yes, it's a giant, absolute fuck-off piece of meat. And it's so good. You braise it in butter. You have a side of, probably for me, going to be a side... I mean, you got to have chips. I was going to say mash, but it's got to be chips and a salad. A rocket salad, Parmesan on top, a bit of Caesar dressing, some sardines, and some...
Cucumber?
Croutons. Garlic croutons.
Gosh. So, you know, with these really, really fuck-off massive steaks, how do you cook them? But then you like them mooing still, don't you?
I like them rare, but the larger the cut of meat, the easier it is to cook. Because you have ages. So you can cook that that will have been cooked. We're looking at a picture of a steak, which is beautifully purple on the inside. They will have cooked that for probably 5 minutes on each side, and it's still that red.
Yeah.
Because it's such a big piece.
How would you make that? How would you make that medium without completely destroying the outside? Or is it not meant to be cooked that much?
No. So you can do that. So you would want to do something called like a reverse sear or sous vide. Right. So sous vide, I think you know what that is, right? Where you do it in the bag at a controlled temperature that is always at temp.
Yeah.
You get it to that temperature, and then you quickly take it out. Well, you don't have to quickly do it, but you take it out of the sous vide when it's that temperature all the way through, and then you quickly, on a very hot skillet, sear the outside to make it nice and crispy, but not so much hard that it's been sitting on a grill for 10 minutes and it's now inedible. Or you could do something called a reverse sear, which is where you sear it. I think it's where you sear it first and then you finish it in the oven. So you really sear it, then you put it in the oven and you can kind of control it more.
Yeah, see, that's how I cook like a pork loin. Obviously, that has to be cooked all the way.
With a size like that, it's very similar to like doing a roast.
Yeah.
You would do it in the pan, get it nice and crispy, and then you do it in the oven.
Ooh.
So a big steak, French fries, asparagus that's been grilled, and a salad. And I'm gonna be and just give me like a bucket of garlic mayo. Or aioli, actually. If it's a steak, I want aioli. I want an areola. Give me that nipple dip.
And would you be putting that on the meat, or would that just be for your
It'd
sides?
be over fucking everything. It would look like I had just climaxed over my thing. It would be over everything. The chips.
It's very fragrant.
Yeah. That was a lot of protein. Meg is disturbed by that one.
Meg is concerned for her next meal.
I happen to know that is also how Meg consumes her garlic mayo. So you put it on everything. But yeah, that would be my. I had to specify. That would be my god tier dinner right there. Would just be a nice steak. I'm gonna move past that statement. Love you, Mom and Dad.
Look, everybody does it. Let's not be prudes.
We all do eat steak.
Yeah.
All right.
All love steak. Side note, that salt.
Oh yes.
I've used the salt
The
that I can
salt.
never remember the name of.
Maldon?
I keep calling it Waldorf.
Waldorf salt.
Which I know it isn't.
Did we mention this in the last podcast?
I don't know.
Because that was when I gave it to you. You came over.
Yeah.
So, as you will have heard, I gave Jodi some Maldon salt after ordering an absolute bucket of it and getting a shout out from their Instagram. How has it treated you?
Decent.
Decent. I've seen you've posted a couple pictures.
Yeah, which I put I put some cheese on toast with sliced tomatoes. Did it in the air fryer, by the way. Really nicely crunchy crust.
I was wondering how those came out so nice. Surely you didn't do that on the grill.
No.
It looked great.
I just put the bread, the cheese and tomatoes into the air fryer.
Jodi, culinary masterpiece.
Yeah. Keep your sous vide, stick it in the air fryer.
All right there, Heston Blumenthal. Keep your sous. Oh no, who was that?
Wallace.
My name's Graham Wallace. Keep your sous vide, stick it in the air fryer. Support the troops.
But my sister messaged me today and she was like, I was so sad because I thought that was pepperoni. I was like, it does look like pepperoni.
Oh wait, that photo! I actually thought those were pepperoni. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about now. Yeah.
So I did a little sprinkling on there.
Like a tiny pizza.
No, but that would work.
That would have worked, yeah.
A little bit of tomato paste and a bit of whatever.
Bit of salt.
Yeah.
And it was nice.
Yeah, Waldorf.
Salt your tomatoes, people.
Yes.
Salt your tomatoes. If you're making a sandwich,
as well.
Yeah, however you're having them. You're just cutting them, you're putting them on a sandwich, little sprinkle of salt, a little crack of pepper, it completely elevates it.
I'm proper digressing as well now, but I learned this from a TikTok video of a Jewish lady who I follow and just find her life so interesting.
So you stalk a Jewish woman?
Yeah, I surely do. Stalk that Jew.
Oh my God.
She's so lovely. She's called Miriam, I think it is.
I don't think I can keep that in.
What? Stalk
that Jew. Either we're not keeping that in or that is the title of this episode.
But yes, I follow her and she just like shares bits about her like Jewish culture and things like that. Because I don't really know an awful lot about it. And one day she shared, this is what I eat on an average day as a Jewish woman living in wherever it is they live. And
Matzo balls.
she made tomato toast.
Tomato
And I had
toast.
never even seen it or had it before. And it's just toast, mayo, and sliced beef tomatoes with salt on. And I wouldn't stop eating it for ages and ages.
Really?
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, those things.
It's like a BLT without the B.
Or
the L.
It sounds like somebody just took the top of a sandwich off and ate it.
Toast, mayo, no butter, toast, mayo,
Sliced tomatoes.
beef tomatoes, so big boy tomatoes.
Big old round tomatoes.
Salt.
Salt. And pepper?
No,
Just salt?
just salt.
Right, I will be trying that.
It's really...
It sounds deviously simple.
I became obsessed with it. And then Andy was like, could you, why are you having that all the time? I was like, right, here. And shoved some in his face hole. And he was like, okay.
Oh, wow.
I'll
Right.
find your picture because it...
I need to try that then. Last night, Megan and I... Actually, we went to the railway, didn't we, Meg?
Mm-hmm.
Had an absolutely lovely conversation. Sat, and then we realized it was like 9:30 at night and we hadn't eaten dinner.
Oh.
So, came home. I made some gumbo that I had in the freezer, and it wasn't enough to fill me up.
Oh, no.
So I thought, I'm going to, because we're doing a food shop today.
Yeah.
The same food shop that we should have done last week. We've just meagerly managed to live through the week. I decided I'm going to clear out all the veg and everything in the fridge that I need to get rid of and feed myself. So I made 4 veggie wraps, which were just, I had a pack of celery that I needed to get rid of.
Yeah.
Thinly sliced it up. I had 4 wraps that I needed to get rid of. Mayo, cracked black pepper, thinly sliced celery, sliced tomatoes, salt, pepper, a little bit of yellow mustard. It was delicious.
That's a lot of wraps.
It was a lot of wraps, and they were so good. I just had 4 veggie wraps at like 10 p.m.
Ooh.
I don't know what it is, but at some point in my life, I have just decided I love veg. Like just raw veg. I will eat. I mean, Meg has seen the size of salad I will eat.
Did you have raw celery?
Oh, it was raw celery, yeah. I ate about, in whole, over those 4 wraps, I probably had about 10 sticks of celery.
Oh, no.
Celery is delicious. It's so good. It's like if black pepper could be a vegetable. It tastes like black pepper.
No, it's if sad was an edible thing.
What? Celery? Oh, ants on a log? Celery, peanut butter, and raisins?
Right. Oh, this is it now. That's enough.
What? Ants on a log is a childhood core memory. You never had that as a kid?
Does this look like the face of someone?
This looks like the face of somebody who's just been told that your child's being taken away from you. You look upset.
I'm surprised you weren't taken away.
What? Celery? You take a thing of celery, you put You've really never had this. Okay, well now that's what you're having. We're trying it.
I won't eat it.
You're going to try it and you're going to like it.
What? Wait, let me get my head around this.
Okay, celery. Stick of celery. You know, it's like a bone canoe.
Yep.
It's hollow in the center.
Sad.
And then you take and put peanut butter into it.
Oh, I already hate it.
And then you put raisins on the peanut butter. And it's called ants on a log.
Shit in a bag and punch it. That sounds awful.
I cannot believe that you don't know what that is.
I will not eat that.
Really?
Yep.
You try and see if
Don't
Terry.
you point that thing at me.
Try
I'm not
and
having it.
Try and see what Terry thinks.
No.
Because it's a kid.
You
it's
think
a kid
that
meal.
Terry would
I bet you a munchbox that Terry likes.
I bet you 2 fucking lunchboxes.
Do you not think he'll eat it?
David!
Does he not like celery?
Do you know if I put anything near him like that, he would start gipping.
Really?
Straight away. He'd have to go and stand near the bin.
Okay. Alright.
He will eat raisins.
This
He will
is
eat
really
peanut butter and
disappointing.
chocolate toast. He would not eat celery.
Really?
In fact, I think he might have tried it once and he gipped hard. And I don't blame him because raw celery...
And you're just like, that's my boy.
Yeah.
This is a celery-hating family.
Yes, I will eat
I'm
celery.
so disappointed to hear that. You hate celery.
I don't hate celery. I hate raw celery. So we've got celery at home. I put it in things. Slow cooked celery is delicious.
There's a meal that you won't get this reference because the restaurant isn't here. Panda Express.
Oh, I've heard of it.
So good. We just did the restaurant rating S tier thing, and if it was on that list, it would be S tier. They do something called chicken and mushroom with rice, and it's just got like sautéed celery, and it's done in this like spicy pepper sauce, and I could eat it by itself. It's so good.
I don't think I'd be able to have a meal with celery in if the celery wasn't cooked fully.
I love celery. And you burn calories eating celery.
Like rabbit.
Yeah. Right. You still haven't told us what your dinner meal is.
I think I'd really struggle.
So what have you done in the interim? You said you've gone for another walk?
Probably had a sit down.
Had a sit down. Okay. You're the perfect level of hungry.
Yeah, I'm not so starving that I would annihilate it and not appreciate it. I'm peckish.
You're peckish. And you want dinner.
I want dinner.
Do you want barbecue? Do you want French, Italian? Do you want Asian?
I think I'd be heading straight to bonsai.
Bonsai sushi.
And I would have
a sushi boat?
Yes.
Sushi boat.
I would have the
oh my god, look at that.
Chicken gyoza.
Fuck me.
Because they're incredible.
Chicken gyoza.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, okay.
I would have some salmon
nigiri?
Sashimi.
Oh, sashimi, right.
And it comes with sorry, my phone's going bananas. It comes with it's like a coriander-y type. It's not it's not chunky. It's,
chimichurri?
No, it's not quite that level. I thought I'd turn this on to quiet time. Quiet time.
Jodi's a very popular lady.
Just so darn popular. I can't remember what it is. Oh, salmon not caprese. Anyway, I'm rambling. It's this really nice sliced salmon, and Andy doesn't eat salmon, but he will eat that.
Carpaccio? No, that's Italian.
No.
Yeah, it's an Asian place.
I'll have to find it while I'm talking.
Yeah.
But then I would also have the green dragon roll, which is tempura prawn, seafood stick, or imitation crab. Which we spoke about last week. Those weird the flying fish roe on the top with loads of greenery inside. I'd have that sushi roll, and then I would have the tonkatsu. Is it
tonkatsu? Yeah,
which is like a
breadcrumby fried pork?
No
pork fillet.
Oh, maybe not. No, it's barbecued pork.
Oh, right, pork belly.
A pork bone broth.
Tonkatsu, right, of course, yes,
so
okay,
it's kind of like a creamy broth, and it's got bean sprouts, and it's got spring green type stuff. It's got udon.
I was thinking of katsu. That's what I was thinking of. Sorry, tonkatsu, yes, bone broth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
If you ever want to burn 3 hours, just get lost in ramen Insta, ramen TikTok, whatever social media platform you prefer, ramen YouTube, and there are people making you can spend days making just the broth, and you take a load of chicken feet, a load of pig trotters and bone, and you boil it, and it's like that. You showed me that video of the lady who made the broth, and she went to go take a video of it, and she puts her strainer over the sink, and she, for whatever reason, completely forgets to put a bowl under the strainer on this broth that she's clearly cooked for hours.
The poor bastard.
And she pours the broth into the strainer and literally saves the throwaway and pours the good stuff right down the sink.
She doesn't put a bowl underneath it.
I think she must have got mixed up while she was trying to film or whatever, and you don't even see her face, but you can hear the sigh of just...
Found it. Salmon
carpaccio. It is carpaccio. Okay.
Salmon sashimi served with citrus sauce and mayo.
Yeah, it's very similar to a what was I saying the other day where it's like sushi for beginners? What is it where you cook it with acid with the lemon? Ceviche. That's what it is. Ceviche. It's very similar to a ceviche.
So that would be on there with my gyoza and that, what's it called?
Carpaccio.
Carpaccio.
Yeah.
Then the bone broth soup with the thick udon noodles.
Oh, I love udon noodles. Oh, you guys don't have it here either.
And I'd have a bottle of Tiger beer.
You like Tiger beer?
Not the ale. It's a lager.
Oh, the blue one. It's blue.
Think so.
Yeah.
Maybe that or Asahi.
Asahi, I really like Asahi.
Yeah.
Meg likes Asahi as well, and she's not even a beer fan.
And then we'd have a jug of water with that. Neither of us have mentioned desserts. Now, I do like a dessert. I'm going to tell you right
That'll
now.
be the last one.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be a dessert. You've had your dinner. We didn't have dessert with breakfast because that's insane. Didn't have dessert with lunch because we had other things we had to do.
You can't have dessert with breakfast. It would just be sweet breakfast.
Yeah, which Americans do very well if you've ever been to IHOP. But, okay, so you've done your meal.
Yeah.
Since you've just finished your meal, let's go straight into your dessert, and then we'll do mine.
So this is a complete tangent of what I've just had for dinner.
But this is your perfect
this
food
is my
day.
perfect food. So I would transport somewhere, and I would have a bucket of tiramisu.
Really?
With a coffee.
I find that difficult because I do like the flavor of tiramisu, but it's very similar to, is it cheesecake? No.
Yeah.
It is almost basically cheesecake. It's one of those things where it's so dense.
Oh no!
And so heavy.
Tiramisu's quite light.
Oh, I must be thinking of tiramisu cheesecake then. Because we used to go to Cheesecake Factory all the time, and I would get the tiramisu cheesecake, and no matter how small the slice was, I could never finish it. So heavy.
Next time you go...
But I've never had just tiramisu.
Yeah, it's really
the one with
nice.
coffee, isn't it?
Yes, it's like
okay.
a coffee-soaked sponge.
Yeah.
And is it masala wine? Is it masala wine? And then it's just like cream, and then it's topped with dark cocoa powder.
Right,
which is it's a really nice contrast to the sweetness of the bottom.
Yeah.
And I will always choose tiramisu.
Tiramisu with a coffee.
With a coffee.
That
Probably a
does sound
decaf by this point.
Yeah.
It's nearly bedtime.
It's your perfect food day. You will sleep like a baby no matter what.
In which case, I'll have a bucket of full caffeine coffee as well.
There we go.
And I won't get indigestion when I get straight into bed.
Those are the adult goals that we strive for in
Yeah.
life. Not indigestion before bed.
Mm-hmm.
I would, arguably a little bit similar, but I would go for an affogato.
Is that coffee and ice cream?
Basically.
Espresso?
Vanilla ice cream. You have a little cup of espresso. You pour it on top. You mix it together. Because one of my favorite, it's a core memory, was going to my grandma's, and she loved coffee ice cream. And she would get, is it Breyers or Dryers? I think it's Breyers. Breyers ice cream, coffee. And it was I could eat a tub of coffee ice cream. And affogato is like the elevated version of that. It's just so good. Little bit of chopped mint as well on top. Because I just think mint chocolate chip is the best thing in the world.
Oh, mint chocolate chip is incredible.
If I couldn't have vanilla, it's mint chocolate chip. But affogato with... I'm going to say... I finished the night with I think I'm going to finish the night with a beer. Because I was going to say I'd want espresso martini. But they're very heavy. And I don't want to finish the meal with that. I want to finish the meal with a light palate cleansing thing.
See, with my tiramisu, if I was going to have an alcohol, just one alcohol, I would have my coffee with it. But I would also probably have like a sweet white wine.
That's a good idea. Like a Chardonnay. Sauvignon Blanc.
See, I really like a Riesling. That's
the German one, isn't it?
Very, very sweet, yes.
Yeah.
That's my favourite.
Yeah, we'll have to do a wine episode because I feel like
I'm shit at wine.
I'm shit at wine, which is good, which I think would make the episode funny. Because when it comes to my choice of alcoholic beverage, it's a beer. I don't really do well with shots. I don't really like liquor. It's just beer. Wine, I'll take if it's like a fancy environment and somebody's making me have a wine. But I don't really drink wine. But it's very intricate are very integral in the cooking world, because obviously you use red wine in certain dishes, white wine in certain dishes. Flavor pairings with wine is like a huge thing. So I think it is a black hole when it comes to wine, because I buy wine based on the logo, the label. If it looks rustic and kind of cool, I'll buy your wine.
See, that's how I got into liking Rieslings, because there was one in Tesco's. I was like, I really like that label. It's like quite
the Hockenheim
simple.
one.
Yeah.
The German red and yellow and
I don't know if it's
black.
Like black, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really like the label, so I'm just going to give it a go. And I was like, oh, I really like it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's one that we got, which I think is a Chardonnay, and it's like an all green bottle, but the label is like this outline of a blue whale on it, and it looks really cool. I think it's just called The Whale. But we got it because we were going to see Holly and George, and Holly loves whales. And we got it, and it turned out to actually taste pretty good. But yeah, I am the type of person who buys a bottle of wine based on the way it looks. Also, if you had to have wine, red or white?
White.
Yeah, same. I just don't like red wine.
Red, as Andy calls it, is instant heartburn juice.
Yeah, and it also... Have you ever had, like, a couple glasses of red wine and then gone for a poo?
No.
So it turns your poo grey or, like, black.
Oh.
Like, it's almost...
I mean, I understand why, because it's very, very
white colour, it's the tannins in the grape. So red wine has a lot of the grape skins, which are called tannins, and they, for whatever reason, turn your poo grey.
Oh.
So if you've ever had a night out and then had a poo and it looks like grey concrete mash, don't worry, you're not dying. It just means you probably had a bit too much red wine.
Some wine. Yeah, I mean, I did used to have a red now and then. Rioja.
I know what that is. Yeah.
I like a Rioja, which for ages I didn't realise was called Rioja. And I'd be like, oh, a Rioja.
Rioja.
Like an idiot.
Yeah, I would say I'm a white wine person. I don't... The heaviness of red wine, I'll have it every now and again. It's the same reason why I don't really drink like Guinness or like a stout. I don't hate it. Don't get me wrong. I think Guinness is nice. I think a stout is nice. But it's not like I wouldn't go, I crave a stout. Or, I crave a glass of red.
A pint of iron.
Yeah. Can I have a pint of cold coffee, please?
I've just thought of something, because Terry likes to listen to the podcast. He actively searches for it.
I will let you finish, but I have something to mention about that.
He actively searches for it on Spotify, or he'll ask Alexa to play Food and That. And then the other day we were talking about something, and I was like, "Oh, Mummy's got to go to work," and blah blah blah. And he's like, "You don't go to work. You do Food and That and clean."
So the podcast is now your full-time job.
This is my job now. So
you do get paid.
Please stop paying me, because that's what Terry thinks I do for work.
The more subscribers, we can turn this into a full-time job. The day I can quit my job and you don't have to do your job anymore, and then we can just do this.
Yeah.
That would be glorious.
And
we could do a lot more episodes, a lot more content if we were able to get paid for this. What was I going to say? Oh, I was looking at the insights for the podcast. So we don't get very many listeners, but there's a cool feature that we use, Acast, and they can show you where on the planet your listeners are coming from. So we've got a listener in Jamaica, a listener in Japan, a listener in New Zealand, 3 listeners in New Zealand. But I've just noticed we now have 1 listener in Russia.
Oh!
So, behind enemy lines, somebody is listening to Food and That.
Someone's enjoying our gibberish.
Yeah, so shout out to our 1 Russian listener.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. I don't know.
Send us some vodka.
What's a Russian word? Da. That's the only Russian word. Right, well... We will see you for the next episode. As is with all of these episodes, we have no idea what we're going to record before we start recording. So it will be a surprise for us, just as it will be a surprise for you.
Yes, and we've got the Instagram page, so if there is anything that you want us to specifically ramble about for an hour, just drop us a message on there, because we will always
up for suggestions. Yeah, we have no problems with that. So, shall we end it with an awkward high five?
Shall we end it with an awkward high five?
I think that's a great idea.
Okie dokie. Bye.
All right, bye!